The views expressed are solely those of the speaker and not necessarily those of Paltalk.com, AVM software, or its advertisers.
News Talk is online. News Talk Online is a production of Paltalk.com, the largest multimedia interactive program on the internet with more than 4 million unique users on demand on iTunes and on YouTube and on my site, GaryBaumgarten.com, where you are encouraged to post your comments, whether you agree with yours truly or not. And thanks to our good friends at CRN Digital Talk Radio, we're syndicated across the United States into 12 million additional households. I am your host, Gary Baumgarten. I welcome you all to the show. And all points of view are more than welcome here, whether, you agree with me or not. Let's get right to it. The polls indicate that Barack Obama is starting to pull ahead of John McCain. Now, we saw that in the last presidential election, where Kerry pulled ahead of George Bush. George Bush recovered. We saw it in the previous presidential election, where Al Gore pulled ahead of George Bush. George Bush recovered. But is it even possible for John McCain to catch Barack Obama, especially since this horrific situation with the economy seems to be playing right into the Democratic political hands? I'm sure they're not happy about it, but it certainly is encouraging that campaign along. And given last night's debate, where most felt Obama did a better job than McCain from the reading that I've been able to peruse of it the morning after the night before, what does McCain have to do in order to catch up with Obama? Somebody typed in the room just before the show began in our virtual auditorium here on Paltalk.com that McCain isn't taking the election seriously. I wonder if that's really true. Okay, let's go to Scott in Canada. Scott, welcome to News Talk Online on Paltalk.com.
Well, there's just so many things you could say. It's not over till it's over. It's not over till the fat lady sings. It was over for McCain when he was flying in New Hampshire. You just can't tell with elections. All we know is the people taking polls will actually think that Obama will actually win this election. But one of the greatest risks in any election is arrogance. If it's clearly that Obama is going to win, a lot of Obama people won't actually show up. That's a risk. There's always risk in politics. You can never be guaranteed that you're going to win. Never make any assumptions. I think I remember once I read a headline. Well, I didn't read it personally, but I certainly saw it. It said, Dewey wins. And this was after the election. So it's not over till it's over. Everyone, if you support Obama, don't think, oh yeah, he's going to get in. Get out there, vote, vote, vote. Passing the mic.
Thank you, Scott. Now let's go to Don in Chicago. Don, welcome to News Talk Online on Paltalk.com.
Thank you, Gary. I guess I saw it a little differently, but then, after all, I'm not on the same side of the political spectrum as the previous speaker. One thing that I thought was interesting that John McCain had to say was that he was talking about a program that would essentially bring back the Homeowners Lending Corporation, a concept that goes back to 1933 and the New Deal era, essentially. What this would do is create a federal lending authority that would essentially revamp the mortgages that people have that are troubled and in foreclosure, and try and recover some of those mortgages so people could stay in their homes. Now, this was a pretty big shock to myself and many other conservatives. I don't think that we anticipated that McCain would go down that road, but he has, and it's interesting that the previous program like that, the HOLC, was very successful. It enabled many people to stay in their homes It enabled many financial institutions to get back on their feet, and it did so in a fashion that did not cause a tremendous expense to the taxpayers, because it didn't buy the entire mortgage. What it was doing was essentially revamping the mortgages, forcing the lenders to accept a smaller principal, so they were a partner in this essentially, and replacing the adjustable rate mortgages or other types of instruments with a fixed 30-year mortgage that people could afford. So that kind of an effort certainly helped. It allowed about 2/3 of those troubled mortgages to be saved. Another third still defaulted, but at least 2/3 of them were successful. So I think that program certainly is a giant step away from what we've heard so far, and something that appeals directly to the voting population.
Thank you, Don. I want to ask Alan Jacey, our political correspondent, if he could crunch the numbers for us a little bit. You've been studying them on a day-by-day, almost an hour-by-hour basis. How many states must Obama get at this point in order to win this election? And is it still possible for McCain, according to the polling data anyway, and as Scott said, the real poll that matters is the one in November when we vote, of course, not the way the pollsters look at it now, but just based on the snapshot that we are getting now, how does it all crunch today?
Yeah, hi Gary, thanks. Right now, basically, if I'm going off the numbers that Real Clear Politics has, and they generally average all the polling. And as far as the Electoral College map that they show right now, they have Obama at 264. The magic number is 270. Now, there are a number of battleground states, and Obama is leading in most of them.